Good afternoon. My name is Nicole Freiler. Since Courtney asked me to speak here today, I've been thinking a lot about when Mike and I first met. But the truth is, I can't recall a time in my life when he wasn't there. He's always been a part of my story. From the time we were two teenagers from the Northeast, trying to make our way in the South, through every stage of life, Mike has been a constant. To us, Mike wasn't like family. He was family. Whether it was him showing up to my aunt's house on Christmas or Thanksgiving, to Uncle Mike showing up for my kids in every way. He was the brother I never had, and I will miss his constant presence in my life immensely. And that's exactly who Mike was, a constant, consistent presence, not just in my life, but in the lives of everyone who knew and loved him. The Mike I knew in high school is the exact same man all of you knew. There was no pretense with him. He didn't change depending on the situation or the people around him. He was a constant source of kindness, stability, and unwavering integrity. You always knew what you were going to get with Mike. But while Mike was steady and dependable, his stories were anything but. His stories were larger than life, filled with humor, heart, and just enough exaggeration to keep you hooked. Whether it was a wild tale from his time in the Coast Guard, a memorable moment on the job, or a funny story about a shared experience, he had a way of turning the ordinary into something extraordinary and unforgettable. He didn't just tell stories, he lived them, and he brought us along for the ride. If you spent any time with Mike, you walked away with a memory, a laugh, and a story you couldn't wait to share with someone else. He had that rare gift of making life feel more vibrant and full of possibility. A few years ago, I had the honor and privilege of officiating Mike and Courtney's wedding. During the ceremony, I said that if you had told me in high school that I would be standing there officiating Mike's wedding, I would have told you were insane. Never in a million years would I have believed then that I would be standing here today speaking at his funeral. During Mike and Courtney's wedding, I also encouraged everyone to meet someone new and share a story about Mike or Courtney. And I encourage all of you to do that today. Trade your favorite stories and fondest memories of Mike. Keep his spirit alive, not just today, but every day. When I told my daughter about Uncle Mike's passing, she said to me, "Did Uncle Mike save everyone else?" And without hesitation, I said, "Yes, Maya. Uncle Mike saved everyone, just like he always has." That's the kind of man he was. He saved people, whether they knew it or not. He made people feel safe, valued, and loved. He dedicated his life to service, from the Beach Patrol to the Coast Guard to the Greensboro Police Department. He was someone who didn't just wear the uniform. He lived the values of duty, honor, and sacrifice every day. But beyond the badge, he was a devoted husband, a loving father and stepfather, and a loyal son, brother, and friend. His family was his greatest joy and proudest achievement. Mike never sought recognition for his heroism. He never needed praise for his kindness. He simply did what he thought was right, day in and day out, without fail. He was steady, dependable, and selfless. Today, we're all heartbroken by his loss. But as we grieve, we also carry his legacy forward. Mike taught us that real strength lies in kindness, that real heroism is found in selflessness, and that the best way to honor someone is to live a life filled with love and integrity, and to never take yourself too seriously. So as we remember him, I once again urge all of you to share your stories, swap memories, laugh through the tears, and carry Mike's spirit with you. Let's be the kind of people Mike was proud to call friends. Let's keep his light alive by showing up for each other, by being kind, and by making sure no one feels alone. Let's leave the world a better place than it was when we got here. Let's all be someone's Mike. Thank you.